Our fourth pillar of recovery is going to occur immediately after the resolution and response to that event. We divide recovery into two different categories. We look at what does the short-term immediate recovery look like, and then we also need to look at what does that long-term recovery look like. When we're looking at short-term recovery, we're looking at recovery for most often the first 7 to 10 days at the longest. What we're looking at in that immediate time is how are we making sure we're taking care of everyone? The congregation, the potential family members of victims, the victims themselves. What are we looking at for continuity of services? Because if the church was destroyed in a fire or there was active violence and it's a crime scene, we know that we still need to gather. We recognize the church is the people, not the facility. But what facility are we going to go to? Whether it's a public park nearby, whether it is joining with another local congregation and working together to make arrangements for use of the building. Those are all of our real short-term aspects that we need to address. Really, when we look at long-term recovery, there are several areas that are going to be critical. One of them is going to be dependent on how much damage did the actual physical property of the church sustain. And so when we look at, was there a structure fire? Was there a large-scale active violence event? Then we really have to look at a longer term while we rebuild process of where are we going to meet? What is this going to look like for us? Because again, we know the church is the people, but we have to make certain that we're able to have a place we can congregate. And what is that going to look like for us? We want to look at what does your church board or leadership look like? Because if the catastrophic event involves senior leadership, are there other leaders that are familiar with the plan and know they're going to step into place? One of the biggest challenges that we see in recovery is going to be reunification, and we're going to see that in a variety of incidents. If we have any sort of missing child all the way up through active violence, we know parents and grandparents are going to immediately want to know where their children are. And so we have to have a plan in place to where we can relocate children if necessary for their safety, and ultimately locations we can take them to so that we can make sure as people come in and they pick up their children or their grandchildren that we're still abiding by our child protection policies. We're making sure children are picked up by people that are able and registered to pick them up, and we're making sure that we have all of the children. And so this is a huge aspect. It's not only children that we need to be concerned about in reunification. We may have those with functional or cognitive impairments that are meeting in a Sunday school classroom. What does that look like for that group of people? How are we going to reunify them with their family members or with others that have brought them to our house of worship that particular day? Once the response to any type of event ends, that's where recovery immediately begins. And so we have to be able to transition immediately into what are the short-term recovery goals we have, what are our policies and procedures as it relates to those specific facets like media representation and other aspects. After any event, we always want to come back and revisit all of our pillars. So after a critical incident, I want to look at, could we have prepared in a different way? If we had done something different, could we have prevented it? Did our response follow best practices, our internal policies and procedures? And then with our recovery, were we able to recover as well as possible? And so we have to always remember that this is a cycle through the 4 pillars. It's not that we've gotten to recovery and we're done and now we're just going to wait for the next incident. We always want to be looking at our preparation, our prevention, our response and our recovery elements so that we are best prepared in the event that an incident takes place.